The first 28 years later wasn't quite the horror that a lot of people expected. It was more melancholic and dramatic. But 28 years later, the Bone Temple says, how about we keep the melancholy, we keep the drama, but we just mess around with the horror settings a little bit and turn it up dramatically. Watching this film is as beautiful and emotional as its predecessor, but also is one of the most horrific films that I have seen in a while. I was sitting in that cinema completely disgusted but transfixed by what they have put on screen here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to see a sequel to 28 Years Later, but Nia DaCosta, Alex Garland, everyone involved in this film have convinced me not only was this a fantastic choice, but make it a full trilogy. I'm so ready for the third one.
Me too. I want to see more of it now. I've never felt so engaged to a horror story, and there
Mm.
was so many intense moments that I was just so disturbed. This is like beyond insanity. And then there's some beautiful moments that happen, which I'm glad that we get to have because I was worried they were going to lose that. It just had this idea of what life is like in the zombie world, but we got to see the most horrific things. Especially, we got a new presence to the story, the
Yeah.
Jimmies, which is played by Jack O'Connell.
The ending of 28 Years Later, it kind of promises a certain tone going into this one. And oh boy, did they deliver on that.
This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
Every time we cut to the Jimmies, it is gory and skin crawling, and the narrative in this film is split between what we see from Kelson, the doctor from the first film. He's living life alongside the infected, particularly the Alpha Samson. Kelson is on his front door, on his hunting ground. That side of the narrative is quite wholesome. It's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily call it fun, but it's definitely a nicer side of the narrative. And then you have the Jimmy's side of the narrative, where it's uncomfortable and tense and at times gory and horrific. And I'm sat in the cinema. You're on my right, John. My dad's
Yeah.
on my left. And all three of us are just scrunched up,
We,
just like,
we it
ah!
was that uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was
opening
awful.
delivered that what we were going for into this movie. At the very, very beginning of the movie, there was like this fight to the death, and Spike is involved, and he stabs one Jimmy in the thigh, and then he starts slowly bleeding out, and it's gushing of blood. It was horrific, and Spike was forced to watch that, and it's like that's insane, and
Mm.
it's so uncomfortable. And also, another great detail is that the cinematography it is consistent from 28 years later, but what you see differently is it's on an Arri camera, which does give that heavy feeling to it. It's not as gritty, but it does have this shadowy, heavy contrast to it. There's like a bit more weight, there's a bit more grander scale to it.
So this one is an iPhone.
This isn't iPhone now.
Right, interesting. See, I definitely notice differences, and I think in general, the big thing that you notice is obviously Nia DaCosta is a very different director to Danny Boyle. You know,
Yes.
the directing is different, the editing is very different. It's a lot
Yes.
less wild and fast-paced, and I think that very much works for this film because a lot of the first film is stepping into an unknown world, into very dangerous and threatening territory, and so getting those little snapshots where it's infrared vision or the idea of the enemy moving closer and closer. You don't get that as much because I feel that we are more familiar with the world, we're more familiar
Mm.
with the surroundings. The film as well, it encourages to look a little bit differently at things. The film is talking about the nature of evil. What is evil? How do we perceive it? Is it the devil incarnate? Is it the infected? Is it
Yeah.
just other humans? Is it faith? Is it the mask of evil? The wigs that all the Jimmies wear? The makeup that one puts on? It's constantly in conversation about that. And I think that because the camera is more locked off, because the editing isn't as erratic, we get a lot more chance to sit with those questions. Particularly when it comes to the infected, it's not like an intense close up as the alpha runs at you and it's erratic, it's frantic, but now it's laid back. Now it's more thinking like, is there actually a brain behind these infected? That's very interesting. And you know
Mm.
what? I'm formally apologizing to Nia DaCosta on so many levels. First of all, having watched this film and her previous film, Header, she is incredible.
What a director,
Like,
right? Kevin Feige,
genuinely.
what? I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
sorry. The Marvels, what was going on with that? She's an amazing director. Like, she can pull off
Yeah.
so much intensity and character building and beautiful character moments that we get to explore in this movie. And I'm like, where was this in the Marvels? Where was this?
I remember that we weren't massive fans of it, but you can definitely tell that that film was just butchered. DaCosta herself has talked about feeling a bit of reluctance to do this film, The Bone Temple, because she made the Marvels. She was very happy with that initial shoot, and then test screenings and reshoots and rewrites and all these things that the studio mandates. And it kind of slipped away from her. At least this is what I understand from what she said and from various reports and stuff like that. And then she goes to make Header, which she loves and is more small scale. And it's a bit of a healing process for her and her crew, she said. And then she's offered The Bone Temple and she thinks, well, I've just done 2 films back to back and I didn't have a very good time doing this franchise film. So she wasn't going to do The Bone Temple until she read the script and she was like, oh no, I have to do it. And I'm so thankful that she did. I can't imagine anyone doing this better than her. The amount of times that we've seen brilliant creatives under the fist of a studio, it's just heartbreaking. And I will now endeavor to rewatch the Marvels because I feel like I owe it to Nia DaCosta, who I now, I'm going to go and watch Candyman. I'm going to go watch her first film, which I
Oh,
can't remember the
yeah,
name of. But
Candyman.
like,
Yeah, she did
yeah,
it.
I want to really give her a shot because she is fast becoming one of my favorite directors working today. This film is unapologetically brilliant. It's taken me from somebody who's a fan of the franchise, but who was a little bit like, I could have left it at 28 years apart from that final scene. I'm now just like, yeah, give me more.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what's next. It's not 2 completely different films, but it just had, okay, this is the direction.
It's boring if every film in a franchise feels the same. This is now the 4th film in the 28 Days franchise, and I think that one of the reasons people didn't like 28 Weeks is because it's so different. But I think that is a strength in the franchise that every single one feels different. A lot of this film is seeing the perpetrators of horror, the perpetrators of evil, and the reactions to that. Like in the first film, Spike is forced to kill a couple of infected, something that he doesn't really want to do, but he never hurts anyone. I saw a tweet that said that he only ever uses his knife in 28 years to cut an umbilical cord. That's the only time he actually uses it, which is a really nice
Yes.
little detail.
Wow.
He's not a violent person, and we carry that through this film. He is forced to watch some horrible stuff and forced to do some horrible stuff, but at the core of it is still a scared child in the middle of this whole thing. And I really appreciate how it's not a matter of him running back to his dad or toughening up. It's still him trying to maintain his sense of self while kind of treading on eggshells around the Jimmies, who are lunatics, genuinely very scary people.
Absolute bazonk, but I don't know what words. I'm just trying to think of bazonkers, absolute bonkers group of people. There was a crazy post I saw this week where someone on the internet was dressed as one of the Jimmies to the cinema in Canada. Can you do that? Like you woke up, not here, not here.
Definitely not.
You get crucified.
think,
It's interesting how internationally would fans be like, oh yeah, it's Jimmy's. Well, it's about a certain guy.
I thought it was interesting. The film doesn't go into that at all.
Yes, which I really like because it's
okay.
The audience think about with the Jimmies, they're dressed as Jimmy Savile, who has done awful things.
There's layers to it. I think that there's a different kind of context coming at it from a British perspective that I like, that you can just take in what you want and what you don't want. People are going to get it. People aren't going to get it.
It's a matter of the theme of evil with the faith in how people try to connect to each other in a completely broken world. With the Jimmies, they're all connected together, but they don't really trust each other. They're just fighting for survival, especially one of them that just doesn't really vibe with the main Jimmy. And you do get to see that source of conflict. Like they constantly fight and they just don't look out for each other, but they fight the infected. So that's like their outburst.
You touch on something interesting about faith. This film talks a lot about faith and who sent this virus. Is it God? Was it the devil rising up? Like, what does all that mean? There's some really fascinating ideas about, so as I say, we kind of get a little bit of exploration into the infected and how infected are they? Is there any humanity left? And we get scenes where you see humanity and there's scenes where you don't. And what I found very interesting about the scenes of humanity, what a sentence I'm about to say, is so anyone who's seen this film or the film before it will know what I mean. But in the scenes where we see the more humanity in the Alpha, We see a lot less penis in those scenes. There's a lot of big cinema screen. It's there. It's right
Big screen
there.
screen. It
I
was
can
right
see
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I watched 28 Years Later, there was a lot of
Yeah,
that. You know, there was a lot
exactly,
of that.
exactly. And in this film, don't you worry, fans out there, you will still get your fix of alpha
Yeah.
dick. But
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Cinema.
But we in the scenes where the alpha has more humanity, interestingly, he's covered up. He
Mm.
has like a little cloth, kind of like Gollum. And there's something biblical in that too, because in the Bible, when Adam and Eve, they're naked from the off, but then when they become kind of like aware of themselves and of humanity, they cover up. They kind of have, is it shame? I haven't read the Bible, I don't know. There's something there, something about that recognition of oneself and
Yes.
understanding your place in the world. Like Big Jimmy, Jack O'Connell, his title is Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal because he sees himself as the Lord. He sees himself as the son of the devil. That's what he's deluded himself into thinking. He thinks that his purpose in this world is to drive the conflict, to drive the murder. That in itself is a different kind of awareness of who you are and your place in it.
Mm.
And as you say, all the different Jimmys are crazy, but fighting amongst each other. And that's another way of seeing themselves, seeing the world, and seeing a hierarchy. And Kelson, as a doctor, he has an oath to protect life. And so his understanding of himself is much less selfish. Just the whole time, there are layers, man. I'm peeling them back.
Can we get into spoilers? Because there's one moment I really want to talk about.
You're so desperate. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, the one moment that completely blew my mind was when Kelson organized this insane metal performance. Iron Maiden playing. Okay, well, to give context, so like the main Jimmy thought Kelson was Saint Nick. I
Old
think.
Nick.
Old Nick, yeah.
he
Old
didn't.
Nick.
He thought he was Santa Claus.
Oh,
He was like,
oh,
he was like presents. Brilliant.
presents! Yay! We're gonna get
I've been
eggnog!
waiting.
Yay! We're gonna get the Christmas tree all
Oh
around the
yeah.
Bone Temple with the
Yeah,
lights.
put baubles on tinsel.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then
Brilliant.
imagine the actual performance is just like singing Christmas Carol. It's we three kings.
No, he's singing "Step Into Christmas." it's just
or walking around the Christmas tree.
yes, because he's going around the bones. We did it. We did it. We did it.
We made peak. We made peak.
My favorite Christmas movie of 2026 is The Bone Temple. No,
Oh my God.
Jimmy thinks he is old Nick, as
Yes.
in the devil.
The devil. And
Yeah.
Kelson's like, no, I'm not. I'm just Ian. Jimmy's like, oh, wait, can you just give us a performance? You're just old Nick in front of the other Jimmys. Kelson's like, fine. Do you threaten me to kill me? Okay, I'll put it on. I'm not joking. He puts on the whole temple around him, the candles, the speakers, a petrol all around, like to make fire, and he just puts on makeup and everything. It's like a full-on metal concert, and he just gives drugs to the people, and it's like, what the fuck? This is so cool.
He has an upside down cross, and he's doing like a
It's
lip
so
sync to
metal.
Iron Maiden.
It's
And
so
like,
metal.
Kelson says after he meets Jimmy, so Jimmy gives him a day to prepare for this, and Kelson says, for the first time in a long time, I've been actively scared for my life, and I don't know what this means, how I'm going to react to it. And if I was scared for my life and I had a day to prepare, I would not make anything nearly as good. I would do the shittest devil thing, but he goes all out. He uses all 24 hours of that time, and he comes back. Genuinely,
He better learn the moves. You know, he got the choreography. He's
Yeah,
like,
right?
okay, 1, 2,
He was
1, 2.
on it. There's one bit where he picks up a giant staff that has lanterns on either side, and he's like spinning it, and like the ash and the fire is like spraying out, and all the Jimmys are like going like whoa,
Whoa! It's like what
incredible.
Cayman saw fire. This is what it was. He's like, this is what happened.
There's a lot of interesting music choices in this film. The score is by Hilda Gudnadottir, who I'm not sure if she did the score for 28 years, but she did incredibly. But there's also a lot of Duran Duran, and that's great.
Duran, yeah.
And like Kelson's singing along, and they play some of the music a lot, and they use it in this one really good transition into Rio. Really great stuff. But just that whole thing was just brilliant. And that all climaxes into the most dramatic, intense point in the film where Spike is behind a mask, but Kelson recognizes it's him. And he says, my final thing to you, my son, is there must be a sacrifice. And much like Jesus, you'll be my sacrifice. That's where shit hits the fan. Basically, all the Jimmys die. Kelson is stabbed. And the main Jimmy is eventually strung up onto a cross upside down with his shirt off, like literally nailed to it. It's insane. I cannot stress how much more horrific this film is, and that's not a criticism. I loved it. And the really brutal thing for me, obviously, Kelson and Spike get their reunion, and Kelson reaffirms himself as a really good person who has sick moves, as we now know. But
Crazy moves.
the the thing that kind of made me almost cry, it choked me up. Yeah, I'm agnostic. I don't know what I believe in, but I don't follow any religion. And there's just a bit where Kelly, who is the main Jimmy who we follow, who's not Sir Lord Jimmy, played by Erin Kellyman, who is amazing in everything. Just what a
Hell
performer.
yeah.
She says to Kelson, "You're not the devil, are you?" And he's like, "No." He says, "I'm afraid no one is. There's nothing. It's just us." And you see in the performance on her face, her entire worldview shatters and crumbles. And that is heartbreaking to her and heartbreaking to us that we're alone. And that's what you would think in a zombie apocalypse. And that may even be what's true in reality. That we're alone. It's just us. And that quote, that whole idea is so sad. It sticks with me. I'm just like, yeah, man, maybe it is just us. Fuck me. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
well, that didn't hit me because I was still thinking about the scene. It's just him, just Ralph Fiennes, just doing crazy moves. Because I was like, damn, that's some crazy moves. And then meanwhile, you just cry. I'm sorry, that's just so funny. It's just like I was just so locked in, and then you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just.
It was beautiful. It's just us, man. It's just us and Iron
Wow.
Maiden.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not locked in that scene. Wow. Yeah. I don't know why that didn't cross my mind. It's really profound, the whole thing about the Bone Temple. Actually, can we just appreciate the title? It's the Bone Temple, and we actually get to have the Bone Temple.
Yeah.
Many franchises will just gloss over something like, for example, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. What were the crimes? We don't know.
Oh, okay, I see. I thought you were going to go on a tangent about how every franchise should have the Bone Temple as one of the names.
Fast and Furious, the Bone Temple. How hard
That
is that?
actually goes so hard.
The Bone Temple. Like, imagine
Oh, God.
Imagine Dominic Toretto's like, I gotta find the missing Dodge Charger in the Bone Temple. I must
Oh,
go to the
yes.
Bone Temple.
You know what? Recording this is one of those episodes where I think to myself, this is an all-timer. This is a top 10
This
right
is
now.
all time right
We've
here,
had brilliant. I love
my
it.
God.
It's so, and you know what? To further that, the marketing of the film is very clever. The main poster of this film, if you're listening to this episode and you haven't watched the film, look at the poster. That is an image from Kelson's Iron Maiden performance. John, you're looking shocked, so I will show you right now.
Oh my God.
They did the same thing with the first film where the poster was Spike putting the skull on the temple. Just okay, look at that boy. Look at that boy. John, feast your eyes.
Yo, that's so cool. That is
I
so cool.
genuinely put it on my wall, dude.
Yeah, we have the Bone Temple actually explores the philosophical meaning of it.
Yeah,
Like we get to
yeah.
see a bit more.
And Kelson's final words are memento mori. Like he accepts death in that final moment. It's just
Damn.
brilliant. As Samson carries him away, there's more religious imagery there, of course. But Samson, whose brain is clear for the first time, the way that they do that was just amazing. Like Samson takes all these drugs, and basically we just have scenes where Kelson and Samson, so Samson's the alpha, Kelson, of course, the doctor, they're just high. And they're just tripping out, dancing to Duran Duran. Samson's looking at the moon.
I just love it because it's a massive tonal shift, right?
Yeah.
It's like them just
But it
enjoying life.
works. Oh my God, it
works
works
so
so
well.
well. How many directors struggle with a tonal shift? But Nia DaCosta absolutely just makes it work so well. This may be the funniest 28 Days Years film, and I think it absolutely deserves to be, and it doesn't feel like it loses anything because of it. Samson's there and he's saying like moon, like he's remembering words, and we can see that he has an understanding. That's crazy.
The flashbacks of Alva Samson, going
Yes.
on the train as well, which is
Yeah.
fantastic as well. We get
Yeah.
to see a bit of humanity.
The fact that they do it doesn't feel jarring. They do it naturally. I'm so impressed with it. And the first thing that we hear him properly say, the first sentence, he's having a flashback to somebody asking for him for a ticket, and then we flash forward back to him as the alpha, and he just goes, "Sorry, I don't have a ticket," before getting attacked by a bunch of infected. It doesn't feel like a big moment where he stands up and he goes, "My name is Samson, and I can sing," and he just starts singing Duran Duran. It works, and I just like the whole time. Here's a question. Okay, do you think this is better than 28 Years Later?
I think so for me. But I love the first one. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the first one. This one just goes in deep, hardcore horror and questions about faith as well. It's just a great direction and exploration that we get to see. And so I think this is my favorite, really.
I don't know, but I think I might agree. I don't think any scene in this film hits me as much as Spike saying goodbye to Isla in the first
Yeah.
film, but I do think it's incredible. But the final thing, of course, we see a flash to Cillian Murphy. He's back, the man himself. You know what his character's name is, by the way?
Kelly and Murphy?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, his character's name is Jim, and I love the idea that like
Jim?
he meets
What?
Spike, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Spike," and he's like, "I'm Jim," and Spike's like, "No,
No,
no, no, no, no, no, no,
no, no,
no."
no.
Great to see him again. We see him back in the little house from the end of the first film. No Naomi Harris. That worries me. There is a teenage child who I assume is their kid, but where is Naomi Harris? I hope that she's not dead, because if they just killed her off, I'll be very upset. Either way, it's great to see.
That would be crazy. That would be
Yeah,
crazy.
oh,
Yeah.
God damn it. But like, great to see Jim, great to see Cillian Murphy. But the best thing is that the final thing we see is Jim and his daughter hear the zombies. They go and have a look. They see Spike and Kelly running from them. And the daughter says, "Should we help them?" And Jim's like, "Yeah." And the music starts to build. It builds. And then just at the point that it's about to hit the drop, it cuts to credits, and it's amazing. I think, John, I think you were a little bit confused as to why I was so hyped So, okay, so you've only seen these last two films. You haven't seen one and two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 28 days later and 28 weeks later, they each have really intense, impactful scenes where this music plays. Every time it happens, it's like, oh my God, something big's gonna happen. So when they were building up and using that music again, it was like, holy shit, holy shit. But then the fact that they cut it just as the credits went is like a tease. It's like oh my God, you got us, you fucking bastards.
Oh.
And
Oh,
so like,
okay.
yeah, it was so exciting.
Oh,
I
wow.
cannot wait. Please, Danny Boyle, and they're making the final film. I'm so glad they are. Danny Boyle, please come back. Please come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Either film it on iPhone or Canon
Yeah.
XL.
Do what you want.
Do what you want. Even film it on a Super 8. I don't care. Give me some
That'd be
now.
interesting. They do a left turn. It's a found footage horror film now. It's completely different.
It's like Blair Witch now.
Yes.
Oh, is this camera on? Is this camera on?
Yeah. 4 Jims were found dead in the woods, and this is the
And
only
text
surviving
scrolling down.
footage.
The text scrolling down. You just get to see
God
that.
damn it. Okay,
And
right.
Jimmy.
28 years later, The Bone Temple. What are you going to give it out of 10?
A 9.
Me too. What a film. Thank you everybody for listening. If you're listening on YouTube and you liked it, you can like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can follow and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. And next week, we're going back a month or so, but we're going to talk about the war between the land and the sea.
Ah.
We're doing some Doctor Who stuff. I haven't
Yay.
seen it. I don't know what's going to happen.
I haven't seen
but
it either. Yeah.
Yeah, send us
Let's
an
see-
email.
Yeah,
Let us know.
Let's see what that's about. Yeah.
And we'll answer it right here in the podcast next week.
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram at Out of Time Film Party, our incredible thumbnails from Zain, on Twitter for more thoughts from Tom and me, and TikTok to see edited clips, which are all also on Instagram, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And you can find links to that all in the description below. Thanks to Elle for the excellent theme, and Ronan for logos as always. And I think that's everything. Take away given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.